or treat, motherfuckers. How we doing? Stone Cold Robert Austin here today. Happy Halloween, everybody. Nope, I don't own the rights to that music, so YouTube, don't fist me on that one. I know I don't own the rights. Some other guy in the WWE owns rights to that shit. So how are we doing today? I'm just having a little fun on Halloween, dressing up as Stone Cold Robert Austin. Hopefully y'all are having a good Halloween, or we'll have a good Halloween tonight. We are here for another episode of hashtag We Still Got More Rockin' to Do, bitch. Which I'll do the theme song here, like Stone Cold style. We still got more rockin' to do, bitch. I know Stone Cold doesn't have a great singing voice. You'll just have to fucking deal with it. But before I get too deep into this is season 2, start of season 2, episode 1, but our 26th episode overall of We Still Got More Rockin' to Do, bitch. And I decided today to go on bringing in a special guest, my son, Jet. And that's spelled J-E-T-T for you fucking people at home.
Yes.
Pull that door shut. And then my son's coming on in here. He didn't pull the door shut when I told him to make sure he shuts the door on his way in. But of course, you know, it's par for the course for him. All right. So anyway, how we doing today, buddy?
Pretty good.
All right, man. We're going to talk about what was supposed to be the Freaks on Parade show.
Yeah.
But Rob Zombie apparently had laryngitis and could not be there. This show is at the Back Theater, Planet Hollywood. Holds about 7,000 people when it is at capacity, and I'll tell you what, it was packed.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was supposed to be the Freaks on Parade tour, but there was no Rob Zombie. It was advertised, Ministry and Filter were on the tour as well. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was because it was an 8 o'clock show. They were only going to have the two big bands, Rob and Alice, go on. But Filter or Ministry was not there either, which Filter we can give a shit less about.
Yeah.
I wanted my son to see Ministry live. I got to see Ministry on the Slayer tour, the last Slayer tour, and it was awesome. It was a few years ago, of course. So I wanted my son to be able to see Ministry live. But so it turned into just the Alice Cooper show.
Yeah.
Which is, hey, at least Alice said, hey, if they want to hang out and still come in for the show, I'm going to make sure we go out and perform and kick a lot of ass.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, would you say they kicked a lot of ass?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it was a fabulous show. So like I said, it was, Alice Cooper and nobody else. So it was Alice Cooper on parade.
70-year-old man, so kicking as much ass as he did that night.
Yeah, I forgot to look up his exact age, but he's in his mid to late 70s.
Yeah.
Still rocking and rolling. Pipes still sound good. He is always moving on stage. He's not just up there as like a statue, standing in one spot. I mean, he's twirling cane. He's in a straitjacket. Yeah. He's up on stairs. He's doing stuff. He's part of the show.
He's getting his fake head chopped off.
He gets his head chopped off, and we'll go over that in the set list. But first, I want to go over some of the band members. I'm not going to go over how long some of these members have been in the band, just because of time restrictions this time around, because it's a long set list. Yeah. But of course, it's Alice Cooper. On the vocals, Glenn Sobel, phenomenal drummer. Every time I see this guy, I get more impressed by him. On bass was Chuck Garrick. My bad there. And then he always has, every time I've seen him live twice, he always has 3 guitars with him. And they all can play leads, they all can play rhythms. They're all phenomenal. Ryan Roxy, Tommy Hendrickson, and now he has back Nita Strauss, which is fabulous. He did have Kane Roberts last year. Let me clear something up real quick for y'all, too. Some people think, well, he got Kane Roberts back after Nita left him to go to play with Demi Lovato, and then as soon as Nita comes back, he just fires Kane, discards him. And that's not the case. When Nita left Alice, they already knew whenever they got Kane back, it's only for a limited time. Nita's going to come back. And Kane even said himself, he goes, look, about 5 weeks on the road was as much as I really wanted to do anyway. So he said there was no plans in him touring last year into more than just the fall. So there's no animosity there. Kane Roberts himself, I just watched a video. He said him and Nita are very close friends. They discussed this all before, during, and after this transaction has went on, where Nita left and went with Demi Lovato for a little bit and then came back to Alice. Nita's smart. Mm-hmm. She's gonna make sure she goes back to Alice whenever possible.
More money with being in Alice and then Lovato.
Well, it's not about the money either. I think Nita wants to play a certain style of music. Yeah. She wants to fucking rock. Who's gonna rock? Alice or fucking Demi Lovato? I mean, come on. Yeah. You just go off the basics. Just don't get into the money part too much. Just keep it basic. So Kane Roberts has no animosity there. Kane already said, as soon as Alice needs me again, I'll be there. So Kane even said their third weekend to his third weekend of being back with Alice, it was like they were in the mid '80s all over again, close like rock and roll brothers again. So there's no animosity there. Everything is good between Kane Roberts and Alice Cooper and Nita Strauss. That love triangle there is good. Kane said whether it's with Nita or if Nita goes away and he needs me without Nita, he'll be there for Alice. He says he owes Alice Cooper and Cheryl Cooper, Alice's wife, so much for his being a part in the music business the way he is because of Alice. So everybody can stop talking bullshit about that. Yeah. All right, now let's get into the set list. First song he comes out with, he doesn't do the whole song. That's called "Lock Me Up." He does like the first chorus and into the verse into the chorus, and then he comes out the song "Welcome to the Show," which is kind of like like I said, the whole set list is based around kind of like a story theme. It's all a show. It goes together. There's different things that happen throughout kind of the character of Alice, goes through different changes throughout the show, and ends up getting his head rolled down a little roller thing after the guillotine hits. It's crazy insane, but it's a lot of fun, and you're rocking, and it's a great time. And then the third song in was classic Alice Cooper song. A lot of people know it, young to old. "No More Mr. Nice Guy."
Right.
We've heard it in movies. We've heard it, radio, people's homes. I mean, that song will forever be listened to long after we're all gone.
Right.
The fourth song in was "I'm 18," which that's when you can really feel the crowd was really starting to get into it then. Because I think a lot of people at first, it took a little bit. Because we didn't have an opening act. I think a lot of people were still in the shock of Rob not being there. And like we're seeing these things on the screens. Sorry, Rob Zombie has, laryngitis, will not be performing tonight. Alice Cooper still will be, you know what I mean? People were just like, whoa, And I hope it is legit. I hope he really, because I don't want him faking laryngitis just to not play. I mean, it's Vegas. It'd be a good time. You don't want to disappoint a bunch of fans. I wouldn't think he would fake it. But I don't know what goes through some of these musicians' heads either. But just the whole idea that it was the last show of the tour. Like I was talking to my son here, I would have liked it if he would have just came out and played like backing vocals of him, let his band play, and do all the theatrics and stuff on the stage and shit. I'm not saying do that all the time, because you don't want to come out and lip sync to your backing vocals and shit, but
right.
Just finish the tour on a high note.
Yeah.
And I guarantee if you would have taken a poll in the crowd, okay, Rob Zombie has laryngitis, we got two options, folks. One, he's not going to do his show, or two, he's going to have to use some backing tracks and let his band play and do all the theatrics and shit while they use backing tracks, and he just comes out and kind of lip syncs to shit. I think 90% of us at least, if not more, would have said we're okay with it this time. Because we'd rather see him and see the show than to not see the show. Am I right, or would you rather, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I want him to fake it all the time.
No.
Just for this situation, for this one-off, to finish up the tour on a high note, Vegas. You don't want to piss off the fans.
Oh, I would love
fake it even if you've already made it, Rob.
Yeah, I would love seeing that instead.
Right. And for Rob Zombie, too, it's not just about the songs. There's stuff he has going on the screens that you got to pay attention to. And plus, he has different theatrics on the stage that's going on that you have to be paying attention to. So it's not just the songs. And it just, like I said, I'm not saying I want my artists to come out lip syncing shit. But in that situation, like I said, if we would have weighed the options, fuck it. lip sync it just to fucking entertain us for a couple more hours. I mean, just fucking do it. I'm not saying I want you to do that all the time. I hope he gets better if he really does have the laryngitis. So I'd like to think that he does.
Get well soon, Rob.
Get well soon, Rob. That's good, yes.
Come back for redemption, maybe.
Come back for redemption, and for all of us that bought tickets, we should have a chance to buy tickets first, and the show not be really expensive, even for the really good seats.
Yeah.
Just saying. A little something for the fans this time. You're going to make your money anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to sell lots of merch, because everybody loves buying Rob Zombie merch, and it's a Vegas trip for you and your band. So I think you should do that for us at least, Rob.
Yeah.
Just saying. I'm just saying, just Stone Cold Rob Austin here. So I'm just saying.
You owe us that much now.
Yeah, at least that. But anyway, back to the set list. Song number 5, another famous Alice Cooper old school, Under My Wheels. Mm-hmm. Then he did one of my favorites, Bed of Nails, which a lot of these are some of my favorites, but I like Bed of Nails too. And Bed of Nails kind of came in the mid 80s off the Trash album, I believe. And that's a very good album. And I love the song Bed of Nails. He did $1 Billion Babies next, but he didn't bring out the big $1 Billion Baby that they'd bring out on stage like he did last year. So, I mean, he mixes it up a little bit with the stage show and the set list. So, and then he did a song called Falling in Love, which is an old school Alice Cooper. And then he did the song where he has a big boa wrapped around him, a real live boa constrictor on stage. And you got to think that boa constrictor gets spooked because of all the fucking people. I mean, it probably can't see them all, but just having a boa constrictor wrapped around you and you're singing a song called Snake Bite. Whew. I was like, whoa. And I was in ultimate concert mode, for those of you who know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you were.
And so, like, it was one of those things where I was like, wow, this is fucking nuts. So what'd you think about the snake, man?
I think the snake was pretty cool.
I mean, you know, it's a good thing it was because we were in the lower bowl section, but there was a little bit of a floor audience right before it started the seats. You know, it had some people standing. It's not a really big open floor, but then it had all the seats, and we were only in row G on the seating part, so we were right there. Yeah. We were pretty close. I mean, I could have hit Alice with the softball if I would have had probably no problem, or at least got real close. So
not that he would.
I'm not gonna throw softballs. I'm just saying. That's how close we were to him. And it wasn't like a long from the outfield throw. I'm talking like an infield shortstop to first base kind of throw. He's just really like, look, fucking Alice Cooper right there. Look, Anita Strauss right there.
Like, I can get him out from here.
Right. Even my son probably could have hit the stage with the ball. And he doesn't throw very well. So it's all right, son. You're a rocker, not an athlete. Anyway, song 10, Be My Lover. Song 11 was Lost in America, and then he does this song called Hey Stupid, which is pretty much trying to talk to his friends about not doing stupid shit like hardcore drugs, you know, shit like that. So it's kind of a good message into the song. And then he lets Glenn Sobel go off on a badass drum solo. He does some stuff with the sticks. It's that was
pretty badass.
Exactly. When you're impressing 20-year-olds nowadays, you must be doing something right, because he's an old school drummer out there and just tearing it up, man.
Very, very old school.
And very cool, though. He was a very awesome drummer. Anytime if somebody was like, yeah, man, the band picked up Glenn Sobel for this show, just one time to fill in for their original drummer, I'd be like, Glenn Sobel's going to be there? Shit, I better go. Because I'd watch Glenn Sobel. I'd go to see a rock band just to watch Glenn Sobel. That's how good he was. So after the drum solo, it kind of gets dark. He comes back on stage. There's like a stairwell, stairs and shit up on top. There's Alice. And he starts singing the song Welcome to My Nightmare. Old school Alice original. And then he brings out this inflatable woman kind of, you know, doll type of thing. That is the representation for the song Cold Ethel, which is a song about how, you know, Ethel that's dead, Cold Ethel, he loves Cold Ethel.
Right.
You just got to listen to the song. And then he does a really kind of emotional tune. It's called Only Women Bleed. And the way that set up the stage presence and stuff, and the bounce with the lights and stuff on the guitar parts and everything, because when the song starts off really slow and it kind of picks up pace, and Alice's vocals and the words in the song are just, it's a very powerful song. emotionally, and it rocks the house.
Yeah.
Very good song. He didn't have it in the set last year. Very good song. Like I said, Only Women Bleed. Other bands have covered this song as well throughout, even if they don't do it on like CD or album. I've heard them do it live. I'm trying to think of a band right off the bat that just did it not too long ago. And I can't fucking remember, god damn it. I know I did it in a review too, and my bad. All right, anyway. And the next song he does is Poison off the Trash album. Awesome, awesome tune that should always be in the set list.
That's a legendary Alice Cooper
Yeah,
song right
mid to
there.
late 80s Alice. I think it was later 80s, I should say. But Poison rocks. A commercial hit for him. It's a badass tune.
Right.
Vocally, musically, 5 stars. The next song, Feed My Frankenstein, which is cool. You know, they bring out the big, huge Frankenstein guy. You know, what'd you think of the Frankenstein guy? Would you say that was one of your favorite moments in the show? Or
Probably, yeah.
my son's in werewolves and Frankenstein, you know, like the old school monsters. He likes even some of the old school black and white movies that are old school horror movies. So he kind of gets into that old school Frankenstein, werewolf, you know, Dracula kind of stuff, which is cool.
So television was cool.
And then we're going to get into like the Black Widow segment from like Alice Cooper's The Nightmare. We do a Black Widow jam. And then he does a brand new song. Well, not a new song to him, but a new song in his set that wasn't there last year called The Ballad of Dwight Fry. Very powerful song. He does the whole song in a straitjacket on his knees. On his knees, and he's singing this song. And it's another powerful, emotional Alice Cooper rock and roll tune right there.
Which only Alice Cooper can do like that.
Not many guys can pull off tunes like that. Alice does that shit. Kind of like Only Women Bleed. You wouldn't think that rockers would be singing a song like that, but when you really listen to the lyrics and like the whole how the build up to the climax of the song is outrageous, and it's just fucking fabulous and stuff like that, and it just makes Alice Cooper great. Like I said, if he came here to Vegas every 6 months, I would go see him every 6 months. That's how good of a show it is. And I don't do that for like some of these bands I go to. It's like, okay, I've seen it. I love the show, but I necessarily don't have to come back at least right away, or at least for a little while even. Alice Cooper, Tool, Metallica, those are all ones, like, as long as they show up, even if it was every 6 months, I'd shell out that extra money to make sure I'd go to the show. It's fabulous. It really is. The next song was Killer. But before, I almost forgot, after he sung the song Ballad of Dwight Fry, what happened next? The guillotine drop. That's when they bring out the guillotine. His wife also, Cheryl Cooper, comes out and she wears different elegant outfits. Face painted different ways and stuff, playing characters and dancing. She's a beautiful dancer. She can flow and move gracefully on the stage, and the way her and Alice kind of, you feel the great energy between them. They've been together for like years and years, like over 40, 50 years, I think, almost. And they've had their ups and downs. They almost were divorced a couple times. Because of different things, but you know what? They've stayed together. And those two, man, I wish so much hope for Alice and Cheryl Cooper. I just love that vibe that they give off. And so they did the guillotine drop. She picks up Alice's head. She dances around. It's a whole theatrics about the show. It's not just about the rock.
Theatrical, yes.
So what do you think about the guillotine drop, though?
That was very sick,
Which we've seen the guillotine drop last year as well. It was after a different song, though, because they didn't do Ballad of Dwight Fry last year. So it was kind of the way they mix stuff up, but they make sure they keep in the key shit.
Very much storytelling.
And Alice is like, no, you got to make sure you chop off my head. That's how cool Alice is. He don't mind being the roast of the joke, you know what I mean? Or the bad part of the show. He's like, no, if it's good for the show, I want it in there. I don't care if it's my head getting chopped off or not. So then we got another song, as I said, Killer, and then he does a song called I Love the Dead, and then he does a song called The Elected, where he gets it back up. He's got a podium, American flags coming out. He's got the 4 screens behind him in the windows. that are doing like the Alice Cooper pointing where he's wearing the big red and white top hat with the red and white, you know what I mean? He's all gonna be elected, you know. So, and that's good. It's kind of a fun song that Alice does. And then the last song of the regular set, School's Out. I mean, it's a fucking Alice Cooper original. Right. That song is another one that people will listen to for years and years.
You can't not do that song. Like one.
Right. You cannot do an Alice Cooper show without doing School's Out.
Kind of like Metallica not doing Master of Puppets. It wouldn't feel right.
But remember, right in the middle of the song School's Out, they bust into Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd, the part 2 of Another Brick in the Wall. Yeah. And then they come back to School's Out to finish it out. So they did the whole Pink Floyd song, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, and then finished up with School's Out. So kind of like a little bonus track in there. That's literally an extra whole. They did the whole fucking song. And they had the crowd, you know, hey, teacher, leave them kids alone, you know. Yeah. Oh, no, it's just another brick in the wall. You know, everybody's getting into it and stuff. The band's getting into it. Nita's up there with the solo. Yeah. She is bad to the bone. But all 3 of those guitars, I'm not going to put Nita in front of them, but I'm not going to put Nita behind them. All 3 of them are bad to the bone.
Right in the middle, yeah.
Fucking awesome. Yeah. They're Alice always has phenomenal musicians, whether it's Kane Roberts, Nita, or all the other people that he's had come and play with them. Hollywood Vampires, too. You know, I mean, Alice has that band as well that he plays in. So, I mean, it's the whole thing. Then he's like, he wouldn't have been doing an encore because Rob Zombie would have been coming out and doing the shit. But he was like, hey, it's Halloween. How about we do a couple Halloween songs? Yeah. And, of course, everybody's like, well, fuck yeah, I mean, because might as well. I mean, like, we got another act, and we paid to see, you know, more than just you, but, hey, you did a great job, Alice, but, yeah, let's keep it rocking. So he does a song he had on last year's set list called Go to Hell. Fun Alice Cooper old school tune. And then he's back, The Man Behind the Mask, which is a theme song from the great horror movie, one of my favorites of all time, Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Jason Lives. Yes,
Jason Lives, which, you know, of course, he lives many more episodes after that. But anyway, that's not the point. It's a great song. They didn't bring out the Jason character like they did last year, probably because they weren't planning on playing this song. Like I said, these 2 last songs were just extras because of what happened to Rob. Yeah. So they weren't planning on playing that song. So, but if I did have one song I wish they would have had on the set list still, would have been my favorite Alice Cooper song, Roses on White Lace. If you haven't heard of that song.
That song is badass.
It is badass.
Yeah.
And it would have been badass to see Nita play the lead on that song as well. But that's a Kane Roberts definite fucking driven original tune from the mid-'80s album, Raise Your Fist by Alice Cooper. And with that, though, we're going to head and get out of here. It was fun having my son on the show today, Jet. That's Jett.
Yes, 2 T's, not 1.
2 T's, not 1. So I'm going to push this out of the way. We're going to sign off. Everybody have a good Halloween. Be safe. If you go trick-or-treating and you get drug-filled candy, hey, good deal. Yeah. It's going to be good shit. But nobody's giving away drugs for free. No. And it's unfortunate, but nobody's going to do that. So don't be like, oh, we're going to poison it. Stop the shit. Come on. Yeah. I don't buy into it. But I don't know. Just try to be safe. Have a good time. Love y'all. We'll see you next Tuesday with episode 27. I don't know what show it'll be at, but just remember we still got a lot more rocking to do, bitch.
Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Help us
straight.
Help us get some subs.